Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to another edition of NFL Weekly Picks on the Red, White, and Bills. Joining me today is the founder and chairman of the Red, White, and Bills, Sean Kula, who is on YouTube as well as on Instagram. Sean, how are you doing today?
I'm alive.
I feel you on that,
Football, non-football wise, everything's good.
It's good to hear. I know it's tough being a Bills fan, but the good thing is the Bills are on a bye week this week, and we are making adjustments right now. I figured we can make an adjustment this week because we're on a bye week. I figured I would take over the run of the weekly picks, and I'll be the host this week. So I figured, what better than to have me do it this week and just try and see if we can maybe make a little difference. So I threw in a couple of ideas that we could do for the show, and I just want to see how they go. And if they work out good, then great. If not, then we can table them because, it's just ideas. We're not going to get to the playoffs for, NFL weekly picks. So why don't we just table it and try it during the season? Maybe we can make like we call it the offensive coordinator change that Buffalo made. Why don't we make a change for ourselves? So
won't know till you try.
Exactly. So my name is Brett McDurphy. For those of you that don't know me, I am the founder of the Go Bills podcast on YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, all different channels. So if you're new to the Red, White, and Bills, don't forget to like and subscribe to Sean and I as well. But let's begin with the Thursday night football game this week. And we have a good game this week going into Thursday night football that's been kind of a little bit lackluster lately. We have Seattle at Dallas. Dallas is favored by 8.5 in this game. Sean, who are you going to take in this game?
Man, I mean, Seattle's reeling. They haven't, I was high on them this year. They've lost a few games in a row. Geno seems to be taking a step back, and Dallas has just been outstanding basically the whole year, minus a couple bad games. Out of their 3 losses, 2 of them were kind of bad, but they played good against the Eagles, should have won, and then they have 8 wins. So look for them to keep staying hot. Dak's playing MVP football, so I'm going to go with Dallas.
I'm going to go the same way. I'm going to start off by saying Dak Prescott's been playing some really good football lately. And, CeeDee Lamb's been lighting it up as well. And, I'm actually on the bandwagon of Brandon Cooks lately. I picked him up as a sleeper in one of my leagues, and I'm starting him in the flex position. So I'm hoping that Dallas is going to do some good things with Brandon Cooks. He's been a little slow this year, but I think it's going to turn out to be just the right time of year for a Cowboys wide receiver to step up. So I'm taking the Cowboys in this one.
I don't know how good it will be because both teams are playing their 3rd game in 11 days, so they're probably going to be tired because they both played on Thanksgiving and the Sunday before, so they're all probably tired. And then, so it might be a low-scoring game, but we'll see.
We'll see. And Geno Smith, didn't seem like he was completely healthy last week in the Thursday game, but we'll see if maybe a couple extra days and he can get back to normal.
Yeah.
Let's move into the Sunday games and the 1:00 games. We have the Miami Dolphins at the Washington Commanders. The Miami Dolphins are favored by 9.5. Now we're just picking the overall who's going to win the game. We're not picking the spreads on these games, guys. So just remember that we're just picking the team that we think is going to win. But the Dolphins are favored by 9.5. Sean, who are you taking in this game?
I've got the Dolphins. I could see, we've seen the Commanders put up 30 points twice against the Eagles. I think they took them to overtime at least once, and they both games had a chance to win in the end. So could definitely be the Dolphins haven't pissed on themselves against bad teams yet this year, but they were 8-3 last year. They finished 9-8, so it could be one of those times where maybe the Finns take them lightly and the Commanders get one over at home, but I don't think that's the case. I wouldn't be shocked, but I think the Dolphins will win this game. Might be a good game, though. I don't think it's going to be a blowout.
Yeah, I don't think it's going to be a blowout either. I think that right now everybody knows that Ron Rivera's job is on the line, and they know that he's not going to be the head coach next season in Washington unless he turns it around and wins the next 5 games. That very well could keep him alive, but I just don't think he's going to stay there. I think that the ownership has a different decision that they want to make. There's a couple of guys that they want to grab, but I do think that this game's going to be closer than many people expect. And Sam Howell's been playing some pretty good football, even though he's made a couple of mistakes. But I think he's playing some good football, and we could see maybe a upset brewing, especially when the Dolphins don't find a way to win late in the season. So we'll see how this one works out. But I'm going to take the Dolphins to win. Well, let's move into the next game. We have this could be to keep their playoff hopes alive for the Indianapolis Colts, going to Tennessee to take on the Titans, who are 4-7. Indianapolis is favored by 1.5 in this game, but they will be without Jonathan Taylor, who is a big piece in the offense. They will have Zach Moss out there, who's been a little bit sluggish as of late, especially when Jonathan Taylor has been out there. So, Sean, who are you taking in this game and why?
I got the Titans upsetting the Colts, actually, for my upset of the week. Like I said, Jonathan Taylor's not playing. I really don't believe in Gardner Minshew. And not that I believe in Tennessee, but they're at home. They love Coach Vrabel. They play hard for Coach Vrabel. They're 4-7. They're probably done in the playoffs, but I think they'll continue to fight. And I see DeAndre Hopkins having a pretty big game. And I think the Titans will squeak one out like 20-17. So got the Titans for my upset pick of the week.
That's not a bad pick. I just think that it's going to be the other way around. I think the Colts are going to win this game. I think it's going to be a lot closer than people think, but I don't have a lot of trust in Will Levis. That's the main thing. So, I mean, I really think that the Titans are going to try and keep it close, especially with Derrick Henry. That's the biggest thing, but I don't think that they're going to win this game. I think it's going to be a last-second field goal the other way, and the Colts end up winning this game.
I can see that for sure.
But let's move into the next game. We have the 1-10 Carolina Panthers, who just fired their head coach in Frank Wright, traveling down to Tampa Bay near my hometown in Florida, taking on the Tampa Bay Buccaneers at 4-7. This is a game that is going to feature some ugly football, but Baker Mayfield ankle injury could be limited this week and possibly will play in this game, but he might be hampered by the injury. So, Sean, who are you going to take in this game?
Well, usually you see when teams fire coaches or whatever, they might get a boost or play better. I don't think the Panthers are that type of team. They're just pretty injured on defense. Offensively, they're just not there. Bryce is going through his rookie mistake kind of phase, and he's playing a little bit better as of late. But Tampa's season's on the line. They still have a shot. Well, wild card's probably done, but this is going to be another year where a shitty team in that division is going to have a losing record and make the playoffs and have a home playoff game when a team like Buffalo is going to miss the playoffs. So It's frustrating, but the Bucs still have a chance to win a division. So I think they'll win this game. I think the Panthers could cover the spread. I just think the Tampa Bay Bucs. Baker's a tough guy. Mike Evans. I don't think anybody on the Panthers can cover Mike Evans, and I think that the Bucs will edge one out in the end.
Yeah, I think this game is not going to be close. Actually, I think the Bucs are going to run all over the Panthers. Panthers just fired not only their head coach, but they also fired their quarterbacks coach and offensive coordinator as well. Jeez. So, I mean, they're making moves left and right. They fired Josh McCown as well. So, I'm just saying that's a little bit surprising. And I think David Tepper has high expectations for this team. I think you could have given Frank a little bit more time, even though they were 1-10. I think you could have given him until the end of the year and fired him. But, it's the decision that he makes, and it's back-to-back seasons where he's fired a coach mid-season. So it's disappointing, but he says that he wants the next head coach to read his eulogy at his funeral. So I'm just saying that's a bold statement to make, but you're paying 2 head coaches to not coach for you. And
that's right. Yeah, they're still paying for Matt Rule.
That's right. They're paying Matt Rule and they're paying Frank Wright to not coach them. So that's a little crazy. Now they're going to go on to the 3rd coach that they're going to be paying. And it's
kind of funny, actually.
Kind of crazy. It's the same thing as the Las Vegas Raiders too. I mean, they're paying John Gruden and they're paying Josh McDaniels.
Still paying John Gruden too?
Yeah, they got to pay John Gruden for the next few years.
Wow.
But let's move on to another NFC South team that's going to be on the road this week. We have the Atlanta Falcons traveling to the Meadowlands, taking on the New York Jets. And in this game, the Atlanta Falcons are actually favored by 2.5, which I think that spread is a little low on this game, especially when you have Tim Boyle starting at quarterback. So, Sean, who do you want to take in this game?
This one's tough because not that the Jets offensively are good, but Desmond Ridder isn't a good quarterback. And I got a feeling this is a type of game where the Jets defense can force a lot of turnovers and they might win this game like 13-10 type of game. I know they got Bijan Robinson, but if they sell out for the run and they can bait a crappy quarterback, if they can make Josh Allen throw 3 picks in a game, pretty sure they can make a guy like Desmond Ridder throw 3 picks in a game. So I know the Falcons are a better team, just like the Bills were a better team than the Jets week 1 and they lost. I think I'm going to actually go with the Jets here. I won't be surprised if the Falcons win. I just got a feeling like, Aaron Rodgers is back in the building, so they might get this false hope, even though it's all a charade. He's definitely not coming back. It's just, they want to sell those tickets and all that stuff in New Jersey. So I think the players are going to want to ball out. They're 4-7. They want to fight. So I got a feeling this defense is going to step up and then, have some short fields. Maybe Breece Hall can catch a big screen pass or get a big run that puts them in a good position to win. So I think I'm going to go with the Jets here.
So the hardest thing for me is believing in Tim Boyle that he's going to go down the field and put points on the board. That's the hardest thing for me to do. I don't think he's going to. I actually am going to take the Falcons to win this game. As a little bit of a surprise, I'm going to take the Falcons to win. But I think this is going to be a close game. The Falcons' defense is actually better than a lot of people have expected. Yeah. Calais Campbell has been playing pretty damn good as of late. And one of the better zone teams in as an offensive line in the Atlanta Falcons. They've been pretty good as well. And you add in Bijan Robinson. You also have Cordell Patterson as well. And I'm trying to think of who the other running back that they have is Tyler Algier. And the 3-headed tandem that they have, anybody can break 3 on a run. But this Jets defense is pretty good as well. But I just think that Desmond Ridder is going to have a bounce-back week, and he'll put points on the board. And I trust Ridder more than I trust Tim Boyle, to be honest with you.
Yeah, it's a real tough game to pick.
It really is, and you could go either way in this one. But let's go back to 2008, and let's remember one of the better Super Bowls as of late. And let's go back to Tampa Bay. But this time it was in Tampa Bay. It wasn't the Tampa Bay Bucks that were in the Super Bowl. It was the Arizona Cardinals and the Pittsburgh Steelers, where it was back and forth. I remember this game from Larry Fitzgerald and having Santonio Holmes out there and doing his thing. James Harrison with a big-time interception return for a touchdown. It was one of the better games of the Super Bowl that I've ever seen. So yeah. I know this is a 2-10 team in the Arizona Cardinals that have not been the best, but you bring back Kyler Murray, and that's going to make a little bit of a difference. But Sean, who are you going to take in this game? It's Arizona and Pittsburgh. Pittsburgh's favored by 5.5 in this game. Who are you taking in this game?
Well, remembering back to that Super Bowl, I can't remember, but back before they changed the format to 17-game seasons, every 5 years, I think the Super Bowl is on my birthday, and it was either the Steelers and the Seahawks, I think it was, or the Cardinals and the Seahawks, or the Cardinals and the Steelers, where I had one of my parties, and I drew a picture of the helmets and put it on my aunt's front door. So I had a party at her house. All my friends, we played football in the yard, and then we watched the game, and it was a good time. But I do remember this one, even if it wasn't the party. I've been picking the Cardinals for weeks to upset people and all that. I just feel like I can't keep going with them because I'm behind in the weekly picks race, and there's only a few weeks left. I'm gonna take the safe route and go Steelers here, even though I was gonna pick the Cardinals for this game, but I've been picking them so many times to upset. I think I picked them the last 3 weeks to win. I picked them last week just to win, and the week before that against the Texans, I picked them to upset them. So I think I got to lay off the Cardinals for this week. I do believe they can win, but when you keep betting on the same thing and it's not working, if I was betting real money, then I'd have to stop. So I'm gonna go with the Steelers here. I don't believe Kenny Pickett's a great quarterback, but when you got T.J. Watt, Alex Highsmith, Cam Hayward on the defense, Minka Fitzpatrick, Joey Porter Jr., I just think that Kyler Murray has been looking good though. I just think the Steelers are gonna win how they've been winning somehow all year, like 10-6 or 9-3, and they're going to come out on top.
Yeah, part of me wants to take the Cardinals in this game, but I do think that the Steelers are going to find a way to win it. I think it's going to be closer than most people expect, especially with Kyler Murray, who's been playing some pretty good football as of late. But
yes, he's been back, yeah.
The one thing I'm looking for is the Steelers' offense to have a spark. We haven't seen it this year. We haven't seen Najee Harris have a big game yet. We haven't seen Deontay Johnson do his thing out there on the field. And George Pickens, I don't know what's going on there. That's another question mark that I have. I picked him early in the fantasy draft, and it's just been questionable for me. And I just want to see him make a big play. So I'm going to take the Steelers, and I think they're going to have an offense revival out there on the field, and they're going to do what we expected them to do earlier in the season and give a team an ass whooping is what I was trying to say.
Yeah.
But
I think last week was the first week without Matt Canada. They didn't score a lot of points, I don't think, but right. I think it was the first time they got over like 400 total yards of offense in like a shit ton of years. So they're in the right direction. Like you said, they might be ready to deal out of ass whooping. But we'll have to see.
We'll have to see. Speaking of teams that played on Thursday last week, the Detroit Lions are traveling to New Orleans and another dome game. This is two teams that normally play in dome, so it's kind of like a home game for the Detroit Lions. Detroit's favored by 3.5 in this game, but this is going to be a fun one, especially at the running back position for me and Alvin Kamara going up against Jahmyr Gibbs. I think that's going to be a great matchup out there as well. But Sean, who are you going to take in this game?
I got the Lions bouncing back. They lost a pretty rough game Thanksgiving. Goff turned the ball over, I think 3 or 4 times. He's been turning the ball over the last few games. Nobody talks about it though, of course, but turned the ball over. They lost at home to a bad Packers team, and they're still in the hunt for the 1 seed in the NFC technically. So they're going to want to bounce back. And the Saints team is absolute dog crap. They suck. Derek Carr sucks. They can't get nothing going on offense. Their defense is good. They're just not good. They're not a good team. Not a well-coached team. Not a good playing team. So I don't see them winning. Don't care that it's at home. So I got the Lions. I think 3.5 is multiply that by 3.
Yeah.
They're going to win by that.
Yeah, I think this is going to be a game where the Lions do bounce back. I think that's one of the biggest things I'm thinking in this game. The one thing that's kind of is the deciding factor for me is Mike Thomas is not going to be out there on the field as well. And he's on IR now, so that's concerning. Now you lose.
What do you know?
I mean,
Michael Thomas on IR.
Not a surprise, but Chris Olave, I don't think is going to carry this offense. I'm going to be honest with you there. I don't think Alvin Kamara is going to carry this offense to win So I think the Lions are going to bounce back. They're one of the better defenses in the NFL. Aiden Hutchinson is by far one of my favorite players in the NFL. Wish we would have him on the Buffalo Bills, but unfortunately we don't.
I agree.
Well, let's move on to the next game. And this is a game that we want to actually have our AFC East rival win this one in the it's the LA Chargers at New England Patriots. Actually, New England is not favored in this game. It's the Chargers that are favored by 5.5, and the return of J.C. Jackson going up against his former team in the Los Angeles Chargers. Sean, who are you taking in this game?
Well, based off of the game last week against the Giants, you can kind of tell the Patriots they're doing their best tanking impression. I don't think teams actually do that purposely, but this team's got nothing. They got no fight except when they played us in week 6. They got no fight, no drive, no energy, no will of fire or anything. So Chargers haven't looked great all year. They've lost the last 3 games. I mean, the Chargers, I say it every year. And I know Mike loves the Chargers, and then I think one of his other friends on the Nickel City Mafia always think the Chargers are going to be good. And I said Chargers are going to Charger every single year.
Yeah.
They have a great roster, and they always choke. They always fail. They always have bad records. They never bring it together. I know it's coming from me, a Bills fan, but I mean, Herbert's great. Keenan Allen, Austin Eckler, great. Defense, you got a bunch of studs on there. Khalil Mack, Joey Bosa. They just can't get it together. But they should dominate the Patriots. And then it'll keep them technically in the playoff race at 5-7. But they're like us. They got to win out, and at 10-7, that's even less likely. And we get to play them too. So
I completely agree. I think this game is going to go the Chargers' way. I think it's going to be an easy win for them. The Patriots are looking god-awful. I think they're trying to tank and get Caleb Williams. They're holding out hope that they can get Caleb Williams. We'll see if that happens in the draft, but maybe we'll see the Carolina Panthers win a game, and they'll end up finding a way to screw it all up. That very well could happen.
The Patriots haven't won a game since they beat us.
That's true. And they would be right in contention. They'd be 1-10 if they didn't win that game.
Yeah, but that was Bill Belichick's 300th win. So he wanted to make sure he got it against us, and they played the best game of their life and ruined our season. And here we are. He's happy. He got his 300th career win. He's going to get one of the top picks.
Yep.
But whatever.
So this is a game that's kind of for the AFC wild card, and this is actually going to help the Bills one way or the other to move up in the standings. But this game is the Broncos and the Texans. Texans are favored by 3.5 in this game. This is featuring a team that's been bounced back in the Broncos, who have won 5 straight games, and it looks like Sean Payton is going to be the coach of the year if he can turn this game around and put them back in the playoffs. That's an incredible mark, especially after starting 1-5 to start the year. Nobody would have expected him to be in the playoffs, especially after giving up 70 points to the Miami Dolphins. Now look at the turnaround, and they look pretty damn good. Going into the Texans with C.J. Stroud, who has been playing like an MVP, definitely deserves Offensive Rookie of the Year, but I think he should be considered in the MVP category for the NFL. So, Sean, who are you taking in this game?
Well, I just want to say something funny first. There was an Instagram post about, it was like a meme with Dan Campbell, and it was talking about, how do you feel about Sean Payton turning around the Broncos? This is when they were like 4-5 or 3-5, and it was like Dan Campbell like crying about something at the podium, and I was like, well, yeah, 4-5, that's a real turnaround. And then ever since they've won 5-5 and 6-5, I get like a million comments a day correcting, saying, "Oh, 6-5, 5-5, 4-5 isn't a good turnaround because you have a losing record." Now 6-5, that's a great turnaround, and I absolutely believe that And it's just funny to even think, like, comparing it to our situation. That team was 1-5. They had basically zero chance, just like this team here. My Washington Nationals in that when they had the World Series run, they had no chance. Nobody thought anything of them. And all of a sudden, they're 6-5. They're in a playoff, basically in a playoff spot almost. If they win this game, they will be, and they'd be 1-6 in a row at that point. And Russell Wilson looks incredible. The defense, even after giving up 70 points, didn't waver. They kept battling. They look great now, and everyone thought this team was going to be a joke, a big laughing stock. And they beat the Chiefs. They beat the Bills. They're on fire right now. They could still win the division because they beat the Chiefs. So if we beat the Chiefs will have 4 losses, and then if the Chiefs lose another one along the line, the Broncos could basically win the division, which is insane.
It is.
But I think the Texans will win this game. I think they'll bounce back at home. Had a chance to win, and they missed it. I wish they switched kickers.
They actually did. They fired their kicker.
No, I'm saying I wish they switched them with the guy that kicked the Jake Elliott.
That would
the
be
other guy hit the crossbar and missed. So would love to have that happen, but I think the Texans will bounce back. And like you said, for us, it doesn't matter either way. We lost to the Broncos, and the Texans beat the Bengals, and they beat the Jags once already. So they have tiebreakers because we didn't play the Texans. So they have their own tiebreakers because if we both were 11-6 and had 6 conference losses, they look at, the Texans beat the Bengals and you lost to the Bengals. The Texans get in the playoffs, you don't. So, and we lost to the Broncos. So either way, we have no tiebreaker in this situation. But I would look at it like, who has a harder schedule in the end? And I don't know because I didn't look. But so say like the Broncos have an easy schedule to finish the season, you'd want the Texans to win to get the Broncos an extra loss just in case. But I think the Texans can bounce back. They've been playing good football. Even they played good football last week too. They just didn't come out on top, but I think they'll bounce back.
Yeah, I think that this game actually is going to be my upset of the week, and I'm going to take the Broncos to win this one. But I think it's going to be a good game to watch, though. And the reason why I'm saying it's going to be a good game is because this one features 2 defenses that are playing pretty good as well, 2 offenses that are starting to come together. And I really like Javonte Williams as well. Yeah. And I'm hoping that he has a bounce back game. I ended up trading him in my sleeper league, unfortunately, but I wanted to get him again and trade for him in one of my other leagues. And unfortunately, I wasn't able to at the deadline. But I ended up going after a couple of other guys, and it made a big difference. I'm back in playoffs contention in fantasy football league. Sean, do you know where you're standing at in the sleeper league?
I think in that one, I think I'm 6-6. Let me check.
I was just going to double check real quick to see where you were.
Yeah, I'm pulling it up now. I got a couple sleeper ones. Yeah, I'm 6-6.
6-6. Let me see where the standings are. Currently in last place is Dolphin Keefe, who I'm telling you, that waffle challenge sounds good. Timmy Corks as well could very well be in that waffle challenge experiment. I'm in 7th place right now, sitting at 6-6. You are 6-6 as well. I think you got actually I won last week, but it's going to be interesting. You got a matchup this week going up against the Bronx Bombers, who are in 3rd place right now. That is Mike Fortin's team, featuring Brock Purdy, Isaiah Pacheco, Drake London, DK Metcalf, Travis Kelce, and Jamar Chase. That's a pretty good team, as well as CJ Stroud in the Dolphins defense. So that's going to be a tough matchup for you, but you got some players that are on your bye. You got to move some players around, hopefully to get back into contention. So just a heads up, make sure you move your players before the deadline comes.
Oh, yeah, I'm doing that right now.
So, but let's move it into the next game that we have on the schedule, which is going to be what should be the Monday night or Sunday night football game coming up in the 49ers and Philadelphia Eagles. And I don't want to talk about Philadelphia very much. Let's just put it that way. Niners are favored by 2.5 in this game. This is going to be one of the better ones to watch, though. I cannot wait for this game. Brock Purdy versus Jalen Hurts. But, Sean, who are you taking in this game and why?
This is a good one. It's a tough one. It's in Philly. Philly doesn't lose in the link.
Especially
I don't know. Brock Purdy's not that good.
If Sean Hockey is the head coach or the head coach and the head referee, I mean, it's obvious who you take.
Oh, is he reffing the game too?
Oh no, he can't ref back-to-back games in the same city. So
you can't.
No,
that makes sense. But no, I mean it should be a good game. I mean the Niners were, and I kind of believed it too. They were complaining about injuries last year in the playoff game, which is why they lost, which could be true. Because they lost their quarterback, and then I think they lost a couple actual key players as well. It's tough. I'm just gonna go, man. And I get the wins, but I don't know. This is a tough. I'm just gonna go with Philly.
Yeah,
They found ways to win. They found ways to win. They've been down the last four. Granted, they shouldn't have won last week because we should have had 47 points hung up on their defense. But they're coming out on top, and I think they will here too at home.
So I'm going to tell you something surprising, Sean. Sean Hockey is not on the referee schedule this week, so he won't be officiating this week. So is that a move from the NFL possibly? Just saying.
Maybe.
So the referee in this game is going to be Alex Kemp, who, I can tell you this. He has some questionable calls. I'm not going to lie. Especially if I don't think he's a big Buffalo Bills fan. So I'm going to take the 49ers to win this game, though. I think this Brock Purdy is going to have a bounce back game. I don't believe in the hype from the Steelers, especially what's happened lately. I follow a couple people that are on like Barstool and everything. And there's a girl named Rosie Takes, and she does this category and everything where she goes to the Eagles games and she'll do this gritty dance. And I just don't want to see that gritty dance this week. I want to see a little bit of some pain in there, especially after that game. She ended up grittying, and then she put a buffalo in it at the end, and she grittied over the buffalo, which kind of pissed me off. So. I'm going to say Rosie Takes, so I'm going to give you guys an L this week, and hopefully that does happen.
Yeah, that'd be nice, right?
I wouldn't be mad about that one. But let's move into the next game before we have the Sunday night football game, and then we have the Monday night football game. We have the Cleveland Browns, who will be starting possibly Joe Flacco, who's taking first-team reps right now, versus the LA Rams. And the Rams are favored by 3.5. I'm a little surprised based off of who is favored in this game. Still think that the Cleveland defense is better than most people expect. So, Sean, who are you taking in this game?
Is Cooper Kupp playing?
I will double check that for you. So let me get the answer to that one. I don't believe Cooper Kupp will be playing, but let me just double check. He's limited to open week 13 is the latest that I see here.
It's tough. I think I'm just going to go – the Rams stink, but if Kupp plays, you got Joe Flacco. He's a statue back there. I think the Rams could pull it off at home.
Yeah, I think the Rams are going to pull – or actually not going to pull it off. I think the Browns are going to win this game. Joe Flacco is somebody that I believe can manage a game very well. So I'm going to take Cleveland's defense to find a way to ball out. Now, that's going to be tough this week, especially with Myles Garrett, who possibly might be missing this game. He's battling through a shoulder injury. in this game. So we'll see what happens, but I do think that the Cleveland Browns are going to find a way to win this game. And if you look at this is the people that did not practice this week for the for Wednesday for the Cleveland Browns. Some big names didn't practice. Amari Cooper had a rest day / rib day. Kareem Hunt also with a groin injury. Marquise Goodwin, as well as Myles Garrett not practicing. Dorian Thompson-Robinson also did not practice. Denzel Ward, another big name as well. But there's quite a few big names that didn't practice for the Cleveland Browns, but I still think they're going to bounce back, find a way to get a win this week.
Yeah, they got a good defense. They might very well could.
Let's move into the Sunday night football game. And this one, I mean, I can't believe how many times the Kansas City Chiefs are going to be on Sunday or Monday Night Football this year. The Kansas City Chiefs traveling to Green Bay in Lambeau Field to take on the Green Bay Packers. And in this game, the Kansas City Chiefs are favored by 6.5. Sean, who are you taking in this game and why?
Well, the Chiefs defense has been extraordinary this year. Obviously, Mahomes, he's not playing like the best quarterback in the world, like Nick Wright wants to believe, like everyone else wants to believe. Still a good quarterback, but he's definitely not playing top 3 football. Their offense isn't that good outside of Travis Kelce, and their defense has been keeping them in the football games. So Packers are still, they're iffy. They played good last week, but they haven't really shown that minus a lot for a couple games. I just don't think they're going to have enough firepower on offense, and I think the Chiefs will do enough to win a close one. Probably less than 6.5, but Chiefs will win.
I'm going to take the Chiefs to win by more than 14 points in this one. I don't think that this game is going to be close, especially with the way that the Packers have played. They've just been a mess this season, and I think that the Chiefs are going to find a way to just get their offense right, and this is the week that they're going to do it. Packers defense, I thought was going to be better this season than they are. They have not been playing very good, so I'm going to take the Chiefs to win this one by more than 14 points. That's my biggest spread of the week for games that aren't going to be close.
Yeah, guess so.
But let's move into our Monday night game to wrap up this week in Week 13. Remember, the Buffalo Bills will be on a bye week this week, guys, so we won't have any Bills coverage for you right now on the weekly picks, but possibly later in the week we will have some Bills coverage, depending on whether Sean is going to do that. I will definitely be doing a reassessment on probably Friday for the Bills. But we have the Cincinnati Bengals traveling to Jacksonville, and it could be a little bit of a cold weather game in this one. I don't know if you know this, Sean, but the temperature down in Florida right now in the 50s tonight, which is a little bit surprising. It's a little colder than I expected. I'm not going to lie. Taking a step outside this morning, I was shocked by how cold it was for a Florida morning. But, still wore shorts and T-shirt. Don't get me wrong. It wasn't in the 30s.
Yeah, you got
it. Too crazy. But this game, Jacksonville's favored by 8.5. Sean, who are you taking in this one?
Yeah, I mean, Bengals without – it's hard to say because, the Bengals still got great weapons. They got their backup in. But just like when Hurts went out last year and Gardner Minshew went in and threw 400 yards every game he was played and threw like 3 touchdowns every game. They have the players around them. So it's all a matter of if the quarterback can figure it out. I don't think he will. Trevor Lawrence has had a couple good games, nothing that like jumps out the table at you. I think last week was his best game of the season. Other than that, he gets like 1 touchdown a game, like a couple hundred yards and pick here and there. And you're just like, oh, he's all right, But I think they'll win. They've got, fighting for the 1 seed. So this is a game they have to have. You're muted.
Thank you. I do apologize about that, but I do think that this game is going to be the Jaguars game to win. They just have to find a way to do it, and Trevor Lawrence is going to have to be the difference maker. I think the Jaguars in the end will get the number 1 seed in the AFC, to be honest with you. I mean, it's just the way that the ship has been written for them. They have the easiest schedule for this season. They're going to get the 1 seed. So I'm going to take the Jaguars to win this one. I think it's going to be closer than many people expect. But the Jaguars will pull ahead and have a 2-possession lead. I'm going to say a 10-point win for the Jaguars to end the game.
Love it.
But that wraps up our weekly picks, everyone. Thank you so much for watching. We appreciate you guys. Don't forget that we will be live every Wednesday at 9 p.m. for our weekly picks all the way until the end of the season. Right now, I do believe I am ahead of Sean. Sean, do you have the updated totals for us so that we can let the viewers know?
It's 113 and 72 to 107 and 74. And we can go all the way up to the Super Bowl. We can go like to the little playoff games and whatnot too, just to go all the way to the end. But they'll be quick shows. But we could do that too. But
if you want to do a regular season win and you can do a postseason win and maybe like make the prize a little smaller, it's up to you. Whatever you want to do.
Now we can we'll get to it when it gets there. But
yeah,
I got to start hitting my upsets so I can catch up because you hit a lot of your upsets, so you have extra games technically, and because we only have a 2-loss difference, but you got 6 more wins than I do. So that's last week we picked the same. Every pick was the same. We went 8-8. Tampa Bay lost, so my upset didn't hit, and the Bills lost, so your upset didn't hit. So
I mean, hey, listen, if Jake Elliott didn't make that field goal, you would have been crapping yourself on that. You know, me taking that upset. I mean, I thought for sure I would have had that.
I did too, but hopefully for a better week, and I can narrow the gap a little bit.
We'll see.
I appreciate you hosting today, and I don't know when I'm, but for people watching, I do plan on doing. I want to watch McDermott's. I watched it today, but I want to do a watch with you guys with McDermott's press conference from yesterday, and talk about the questions that were asked and how he responded, and maybe tomorrow, but maybe Saturday, we'll do that. And then of course we got the Ruthless show, Red, White, and Ruthless on Nickel City Mafia on Saturday. Brett will pick things to talk about for that. It's the bye week, so probably won't want to talk about the Eagles game anymore, and we'll figure some stuff out. But take it away, Brett. Finish it up, and again, I appreciate you hosting today,
dude. No problem. Anytime, man. That's what we do. When one person's down or one person, has ideas, I always love to go with the ideas that each of us have. So.
Yeah,
I really do appreciate you for letting me host this week.
Of course.
But don't forget to like and subscribe to the Red, White, and Bills, as well as Go Bills podcast. We're on, I know Sean's on YouTube as well as on Instagram, and I'm on YouTube, Instagram, and so many other platforms. So you can check us out. You can find everything else all the podcast shows that we have throughout the week with Sean, as well as the Nickel City Mafia. You can find that on our website, gobillspodcast.com. And we will be back again with Sean and I on Saturday for the Red, White, and Ruthless show on Nickel City Mafia. That'll be starting at 8:30 p.m. So we'll be back for that one. I always get the time wrong on that one. I get the two confused now because you changed the time on me, man. I had one time and I had it down. But you changed the time on me, and now we're 30 minutes later for the weekly pick show. But it happens, though.
Yeah, Tyler had computer issues today. He was going to jump on at 8 to do his show, but he had computer problems, so that's why we moved to 9. But hopefully he can get back on track soon because he's been wanting to talk about a lot of stuff, and now he's going to have to put like 4 shows into one. But
it happens, though. But we'll see you guys next time for another edition of the Red, White, and Bills. Until next time, I'm Brett, and this is Sean. Go Bills.
Go Bills.